gradually on YouTube. Hello everyone on YouTube. Do you hear me, guys? I'm finally live. Some technical issues we had, but finally we are here. So, do you guys hear me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube? Hello, Amr Fuad. It's officially started. We are here. We are live. I am trying to get to see what is happening everywhere. Am I live on LinkedIn? Do you guys see me on LinkedIn? Yes, I see your guys' post now on LinkedIn, and I don't see Facebook. You guys see me on Facebook? Very good. They can hear me on YouTube. Let me see the Facebook guys. It has been a long time since I went live. Long time. I'm still not live on Facebook, I think. I don't see the people on. Am I live on different Facebook? What's the story? I don't see myself on Facebook yet. Give me a second. Yes, I'm not streaming on Facebook for some reason. I'm trying to understand why. Probably some issues with Restream. Let me try very fast. So today, guys, we will be talking about, so there's two things I want to talk about. The first thing is that I want to talk about in announcements. Well, there's not lots of information to give you, but there is something really big. It's coming very soon, probably in 1 month time or something like that. And it will be really a big surprise to everyone, really big surprise. Is it free? Well, it's probably, but it is even better than free. I can guarantee you it will be even better than free. So just follow me on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I will be announcing that. Also on YouTube I will. So make sure that you follow me and you see all the news. The live will be in English. I probably will have a live in Arabic at some point, but currently I have the live on English. So for everybody on LinkedIn, most of my followers on LinkedIn are speaking English. So it's both. I want to cover both, so it's in English. But you can ask a question in Arabic, and I will be responding with the language you prefer. Today as well, I will be talking about how hackers get into the world's most secure networks. This is a really important topic because lots of people, they learn penetration testing, they go into different courses, and they think that it's hacking looks like how they do with the vulnerable machines on different websites or the CTFs, or how it looks like in that world. But the truth is, it looks very, very different from like the real hacking looks very, very different from the hacking you learn in penetration testing courses or ethical hacking courses. It's very, very different. And today I want to talk a little bit about it and how it looks like in real life. I have been working in Symantec. If you don't know me, my name is Amr Thabit, and I have been working in Symantec for over 3 years, and I have been working in the attack investigation team. In this team, I was dealing with most of the top hackers around the world, from intelligence agencies like Russian intelligence agency, US, North Korea, dealt with lots of North Korean attacks, and so on, and China and so on, dealing with these top hackers and also professional hackers for hire. And in 3 years, we were seeing how they deliver their attack and how they evolve along the time, from one step to another, to a third to a fourth. So that's what we'll talk about today, how this attack is being delivered, and how somebody working blue team, whatever, malware analysis, forensics, incident response, SOC, whatever he's working in, how his job will look like and what he should be doing, or what the type of attacks he's seeing over and over again. Also, I'll be responding to all of your questions, guys. So keep bombarding with lots of questions on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I hope I can come live on Facebook. We'll see how that works. And I'm responding to all your questions, guys. Tariq Ahmad, we missed you. Thank you very much. So let me just check the Facebook. And guys, get your questions ready so I can answer them right now on Facebook. So on live, I'm trying to fix the Facebook, and everything in my mind is Facebook now. I'm still, for some reason, I'm not live on Facebook at all. So I'm not really sure why. So let me see what's happening here. I think I will need to. Well, what is the story with password reuse, Oliver? It's that's yeah. If you mean this is like type of attacks that's mostly common, um, can you elaborate more about what you exactly mean? Password reuse. I can see LinkedIn going fine. I think I will have to end the stream and try again with Facebook. So I'm reading Muhammad Al-Amin. He's saying we should have bots from live stream to check if everything is okay, like Skype echo feature. I wish. Okay, so I will terminate the live for a moment so I can see what's happening with Facebook. I am back live. I think on YouTube I am live again. I hope, I believe. Yes. Let's check Facebook. That is my last try. I'm live on Facebook, finally. So, and here on LinkedIn, let me check on LinkedIn. And I'm live on LinkedIn. So, hello everyone and welcome. Now we are finally live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And now I can read your messages. Yusuf Hamid says, speak Arabic. Well, I'm actually live on LinkedIn and Facebook. I have lots of followers speak English and lots of followers speak Arabic. So it will be hard to only speak Arabic and only half of the people understand and the other one not. So I speak English so can everybody understand. As well, you can write your question in Arabic. I will answer it in Arabic and in English. So yeah, that's I will also have some other lives that I'm only Arabic, but for now I will speak English and I will answer any question that's written in Arabic. I will answer it in Arabic and in English so everybody can understand. Very good. So welcome everyone. Today, I was saying earlier that today we are talking about multiple things. Today we are covering multiple things. First thing, that there is a really big announcement coming soon. I will not spoil it yet, but this really big announcement. And in this announcement, it's something that it's a training, probably. It is something else. I don't know. I wouldn't say, well, I know, but I wouldn't say yet. It is something really big for all of you guys. It's like a big gift for all of you. And this announcement will be, is it free? Probably, but it will be even better than free. So I can guarantee you it will be amazing. It will be even bigger and better than free. So stay tuned. I will announce it soon. So Ahmad Tariq say, hey, hi, will you answer the questions? What question, Ahmad Tariq? I don't see your question, but you can put your questions here. Yes, I will be answering all the questions here. So just ask the question on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, and I will see it and I will answer it. I see all the LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube messages. So yeah. So as well, as I said, today there is a big announcement that I just want to talk about it a little bit. And second is that today we'll cover how hackers get into the world's most secure networks. And as lots of people working on or studying penetration testing or ethical hacking, taking lots of courses, trying on vulnerable machines, they learn something that is quite different from how hacking looks like in real life. I have been working in Symantec. I have been monitoring the top hackers all over the world, and I was seeing how they deliver their attack and how their attack evolves along the time. And that's what I will talk about today, and I'll be answering all your guys' questions. And the first question is from Robert, and he's saying, what is the most inexpensive way to get access to a cyber range that has Active Directory to bin test and attend lateral movements? Very good question, and it's very related to what we'll talk about today. So let's say you want to practice penetration testing in more like a real way, seeing like different machines in a network, and you try to go from one machine to another, to the Active Directory or the domain controller, how they call it, get all the logins to all the people on these machines and learn how you can do all of that. One of the best ways to practice is to go to Azure, EZURE. That's a Microsoft Cloud Service. And if you have a Hotmail account, you can create a free account on Azure. And with this free account, he will give you 170 euros as free credit. You can create multiple machines, domain controller, multiple Windows machines. You have the license for the Windows, don't worry about it. They have the license, they are Microsoft themselves. And you can try to do your lateral movements practice. So you can try to set different usernames, different accounts on this domain, and try to do all the attack. So that's the most inexpensive way. You can try local VMs if you have a really good laptop. I highly doubt if you can have 2-3 VMs running at the same time, or have your own machine as a domain controller and two other machines are not, two other VMs are not, but that's also very difficult. Renmark, hello from Philippines. Been following your page, Maltrack, very helpful. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to see you here. What's the main cyber attack scene in the anti-malware research environment? The most common right now that I see is a lot is the targeted ransomware. The problem that we see is that ransomware is being the type of attacks that is always profitable and successful. They hack a company, they encrypt everything, even the backups, and then they request a ransom. Some companies will pay, some companies will not. But in all the ways, even if they able to respond to the attack, the hackers don't lose anything. They get their money back from their investment of hacking so many people. And that's the problem that we are seeing, is that targeted ransomware are always like, it's still a profitable business. It's underground business, and it's a profitable business. So that's keep happening more and more and more. And rather than targeting normal people and asking them for a small ransom like $100 or $200, they can hack a company and ask for $30,000 or $60,000 or millions of dollars if they feel to. So that's one of the type of attacks that we see very common. Also, type of techniques or type of attack techniques that we see is the fileless attacks, where the whole attack or the most parts of it don't have files. The malwares they use, the way they attack from one machine to another, to a third, to a fourth, they don't use files. They don't use a malware like an exe file or a DLL file or a file that's been written to the system, so the antivirus can detect them. And that's one of the top things that people are facing nowadays. And I think 1/3 of attacks are fileless now. And it is one of the things that it's harder to detect. And most of antiviruses don't really see them correctly. So going back to Facebook, brother, can I ask about the penetration testing? You can ask anything. If I have the answer, I will reply to you. That's for Yusuf Ahmed. Jamil Ali. Okay, the question is in Arabic. هندسة امتى اقول ان اقدر احلل المالوير واكتب ريبورت لما اوصل لفين بالضبط، وايه نوعية المالويرز اللي اتعامل معاها في الاول؟ The question is saying that how I can, when I can say that I can analyze a malware and write a report for it, and should I, which level I should reach, and what is the type of malware that I should be analyzing at the beginning? Very good question. And I would say that it's an interesting question. I would say there's always no specific level that you say, oh, now I can analyze a malware. You should be trying to analyze a malware from the beginning. Like, okay, at the beginning, I know how to read strings. Let's download 10 samples or 20 samples from any.run and try to look at the strings and find critical things. Watch videos if I'm learning from videos, or read book like Mastering Malware Analysis book. They has talks about the strings and what you can find and things like that. I think I have something in chapter 2, what you can read from the BE header and how you can understand more about the malware. So take a sample, analyze it by yourself, even looking at you just started with the strings and BE header, just do that. And then watch or just read a report, seeing what exactly has been true. Or even any.run can show some things that had happened. And you can see, oh, do I see these things that had happened? Let's say he executed a PowerShell command, he connected to a domain, he did this, he did that. Do I see this stuff in the sample or not? Did I miss something or not? When I started, I was trying to analyze any sample, and I was looking at the malware analysis reports that's already written. If you go to GitHub, EBT notes, github.com/ I think EBT notes /data, something like that. If you go there, you will see that there's so many articles being written about like from companies like Symantec, Cybersecurity, Trend Micro, and so on, and they have been analyzing different samples. They have analyzing this attack, and they're writing they write a report on all the details about this sample. So you have the technical report that's already written. You can download the same samples and you try to analyze it. There is no way to know this sample is easy or this sample is hard. It's very hard to know. It has to be somebody who picked them. Like I download 20 samples and I pick the easy ones and then give them to you. That's what we do in our training. But for you need to download and see. And read the report, look at the report, look at the sample, try to read it by yourself, try to look at the strings, run it and see what's happening in the behavioral wise, and then match your analysis with the report that's already written about this sample. Then try to go into the code analysis. You will mostly get stuck. Try to always return back to the analysis that they have done in their articles. This is the only way you can do if you do not participate in any training. In our training, we give you the report, the analysis, and as well the IDB file or the analysis on the assembly code. So you can basically compare what you have understood to what is there. Also, we do one step by step, so that can help you with it. But for you, as you are not following a specific training, you will need to read reports that's being published by Kaspersky, by Symantec, by Trend Micro, by ESET, whatever the company is, and then you read that report and compare it to what you have in your in your own analysis. And through the time, you will see yourself improving. But it is important that you practice and practice and practice. For the assembly, but this is for malware analysis. For assembly part, for reverse engineering, you can try to analyze crack means. There is a website called crackme.cf, crack means, M-E-S, crack, C-R-A-C-K, means, M-E-S, .cf/archive. Go to this website and you'll find all the different crack means level from 1 to 10, and try to reach to at least level 3 or 4. You will see the crack means with their solutions all there. So you need to crack them by yourself and look at the solution if you are stuck. Start from level 1 until you reach level 3 or 4. And then you continue on the malware analysis. follow Learning Malware Analysis book, follow Mastering Malware Analysis book, and follow as well the reports that I have said. There is no specific level when you feel, oh, now I am in the level I can analyze any malware. You will never reach that point because malware is always different. And when you are working in a company, you will see that there are so many of them are complex. But try to analyze the most known one. If you can analyze TrickyBot, Emotet, Injirat, some of these samples, or all of them, if you can analyze them, then you are in a good level to work as a junior, for example, a malware analyst. So that's what you should aim for. If you reach that level, you can apply for jobs. Even before that, you can still apply for internships, for example. I hope that answers your question. Sorry, I speak only in English. Why FireEye doesn't run their tools on their own network? Well, I don't know. You should ask them. I didn't work there. Could you talk a little bit about malware emulators? Malware emulators are basically tools that tries to simulate the processor. So they simulate the execution of instructions. You know that instructions, any simple instruction, is actually bytes. On the memory, it's like a number. This is 24, this is 138, or they are bits like 100110. So an emulator read all of these bits, or read all of these bytes, and try to modify a fake memory, try to simulate the processor, how it will work. The processor reads an instruction and execute them. There is also a memory. There is an operating system that's already running. And there is, what else? There is different devices, let's say hard disk and this stuff. So the emulators basically try to simulate all of that. He simulate the processor, so simulate the reading assembly instructions in their byte type, and simulate the memory. So one of these instructions was adding 5 to this area in the memory. So he create this fake memory, and he adds 5 to this fake area in this memory, to this area in this fake memory. And then this API calls, try to write a file in the operating system. This is a Windows function, let's say, or Windows command called create file. So he create a fake file. He create like as there is a file has been opened. He create this fake file and he gives the handle for it. And say, oh, this is the file. And then the malware tries to write on that file, uses a Windows command called write file. So he simulate the write file and he creating the other fake file he's creating. It's all about faking everything. I have wrote one of them, was called Book Simulator. You'll find it on my GitHub. And it is basically that what it tries to do. Simulate the assembly instructions. So it disassemble, converts all the bits and bytes to normal assembly commands, all the bytes and all the bits as the 0 ones to a readable assembly. Then it tries to understand this assembly. And then it tries to see what it executes. Does it modify memory? So it creates a fake memory and tries to modify it. Does it affect the operating system? It does that, simulate that. And as well, if it does modify something called registers, it also does create fake registers to be able to simulate. So this is basically malware emulators. They are not very easy to write. Mine was like around 6,000 lines of code in C++. But if you want to write one, that will be great. There is Book Simulator, there is libemu, and there is Python emu as well, which is written in Python. What are the resources to learn reverse engineering? Ahmed Khalid. The resources, the best resources are learning reverse engineering itself. The one that I used was Reversing the Secrets of Reverse Engineering. That's a really good book. There is also another book called Reverse Engineering for Beginners that's completely free. It's also a good book. And the best is to do lots of reverse engineering. Just do a lot. Learn assembly. There's in most of these books, even Mastering Malware Analysis cover assembly, Learning Malware Analysis, Practical Malware Analysis, all of them cover assembly, and analyze lots of crack me's and try to prevent Windows commands. Like one of the things that some people don't try to do is that Windows commands, like Windows APIs, like create file, delete file, different APIs in kernel 32.dll, which is an operating system library. Analyzing these libraries, their functions are very straightforward and not very complex to understand and to analyze. So take one of their functions and try to understand it, try to analyze it, see how it actually works, and try to follow each loop and each call and each byte changes, and try to understand them, especially the string manipulation one, like a command called Sterling or Sterling. I think it's called. It's either kernel 32 API or C++ API. Whatever it is, it gets the length of a string. It's a simple loop. You can understand it. There is also a command called memset. It's also in C++ libraries, I think in VC something. And this function, you can start reversing these functions. You understand their own goal. Try to reverse these functions. They are not obfuscated, they are not encrypted, they are not very difficult. Just try to reverse them and see how that works. So that's a good practice, to reverse things that are simple, that are not obfuscated, they're not trying to make your life harder, and see if you understand them, if you understand all the loop and all the structure of them. Start with that, and move also to very low level of crack means, and go and improve yourself through the way. What is the roadmap to learn ethical hacking? Can you answer me, please? I will. Give me a second. I will talk about ethical hacking for a moment, but I just look at all of them. It's different from one to another, but how much it takes to get good experience in reverse engineering means the minimum period. It depends on how much you're dedicated, but if you are dedicated, maybe 3 months, for example. I remember it took me around that. I have failed multiple times to learn reverse engineering, but the one time it succeeded was around 3 months, 2-3 months. So I was learning from reversing the secrets of reverse engineering, and I was solving crack means from crackmeans.cf. So that's the two things that I was doing. Also, I was trying to reverse engineer Windows commands from kernel 32 and other libraries. So these are 3 things that I was doing. أنا تايه صديقي، ماذا سأدرس في مجال أمن المعلومات، اختبار اختراق مواقع أو سيرفرات أو شبكات، ما تنصحني وما هو يجلب مال أكتر. So Yusuf Ahmed is asking which direction cybersecurity I should follow. Is it let's say, or in cybersecurity, is it hacking, ethical hacking? Is it learn networks? Is it what's exactly the things that brings a lot of money? I will answer your question in Arabic first. أنا وجهة نظري إنك أنت ما تفكرش الأول على إيه المبلغ المالي اللي أنت هتاخده، بس الأفضل في مجال السايبر سيكيورتي في بلو تيم وريد تيم. البلو تيم اللي هم الناس اللي بيعملوا سكيور للسيرفرز، وهم شغالين جوه الشركه، بيمونيتوروا الاتاكس اللي بتحصل، وفي نفس الوقت بيرسبوند لاي اتاك. لو في اي اتاك حصل بيشيل الاتاك دوت. في سوك ليفل 1 2 3 اللي هو الليفل اللي بيعمل انفستيجيشن، ده الانسيدنت ريسبونس، ديجيتال فورنسكس، مالوير اناليسيس. ده مرتباته اعلى بكتير من معظم المجالات التانية، بس انت لازم تدور على المجال اللي انت حابه اكتر من المجال اللي بيجيب فلوس اكتر. ده وجهة نظر. So I will translate it in a moment. But what I want to talk today, guys, before I go into all the other questions, and I see lots of questions have been here already, but I want to talk about how hackers get into the world's most secure networks. How does it actually happen, and how real attacks look like. So I will try something new here, which is something called share the screen. Let me try to share the screen on this one. So I think, guys, you are able to see my screen. on somewhere, or maybe I can go this one. Do you guys see my screen? If I do like that, do you see my screen? What's called? Do you guys see my screen, or you only see my face? I'm trying a new app. Yeah, here you go. Here you can see my screen. Perfect. That's super easy. Look. Wow, that's very good. I am trying a new app. It's called Restream, which I use mostly for going live. But I'm trying something new, which is basically using his live studio. And it is really cool, to be honest. It has lots of features. And it's a free app, by the way. Anyway, so what I want to talk about today is that how hackers get into the world's most secure networks, how actual attacks look like. What I see that most of people, the majority of people, they think that to attack a company, I have to do, especially people who are learning penetration testing from different courses, and they follow lots of vulnerable machines that's free online to download and try to hack. They think that, oh, I will, if I want to hack a company, let's say company X, let's say I want to hack PayPal, for say. I want to hack PayPal. I will scan, I will get all the domains in PayPal, all the subdomains. I will scan the reports. I will figure out the operating system, and then probably I will find one surface molder that is that has a vulnerability. Then I will use Metasploit to or exploit DB or something, then to go and attack one of these services. If I didn't find any vulnerable machine through port scanning, I would go through the web and find a vulnerability in PayPal as a website, PayPal website, or any other services that PayPal have that has a website. And this is the two ways I can hack a company, which is they might work, but they are really working. The thing here is that this is what penetration testing courses was teaching every single time from long time ago, and he's still teaching these techniques. The attackers know that, and they are not able to compete in this market. If they try to scan they try to scan PayPal and see any vulnerabilities, they mostly will not find in any like public-facing surface. It's very, very difficult for them to find something that hasn't been seen. If they try to go for let's say if they try to go for web attacks, there is way more how I can say, there's way more bug bounty hackers or bug bounty hunters or white hat hackers than the black hat. So the white hat find the vulnerability, even 2-3 find the exact same vulnerability, and there are two of them are duplicate, and they report it. So the attacker doesn't have time to find the vulnerability and actually use it or misuse it for his own attack. So it is very, very expensive for attackers to get into this type of attacks. But what they go for is mostly, I'll try to zoom in here, they mostly go for the type of phishing attacks, for example. Phishing attacks, which has multiple different types. Phishing attacks are basically the type of attacks that targets the people in the company. Rather than I go and list all the services that the company is running, I can go and list all the employees that work in this company and their connection together. So I'm just looking for any question so far. Do you guys see my screen now? I believe you do. Anyway, so rather than you go for they go for attacking the surfaces, they go on attacking the people, because employees or people in general are always the weakest link in any type of security. You would never have a security that is perfect when there are humans there. Well, even surfaces, but with humans, you can easily manipulate them, you can easily play with them, and this way they can get their foot into one machine inside the big network. So what I see that's mostly common, what I saw in most of the attacks I have been seeing, and even until now, is go through the phishing part, just sending an email, maybe not an email to the person, like a business account or business email, but could be a message on LinkedIn, could be a message on Facebook, could be a fake profile on Facebook that tries to hack his personal machine. And from the personal machine, he can go step by step until he reach the actual work machine. Not only this, but also through LinkedIn or Facebook, like LinkedIn specifically, most of the people use LinkedIn on their working machines, on their working laptops, and they receive a message from someone on LinkedIn, maybe a beautiful woman or whatever it is, whatever the way they try to deceive them, or maybe as a job opportunity or whatever, and then click on that document. This is all the job description. It's a job that has a salary of 100K. Just click on this document, download it and open it, and it will show you all the details. Once you open this document, or once you enable the macro, he gets the malware running on his machine. And from this, they start moving inside the organization step by step. This is what I saw the most common. This is their initial access. And before the initial access, they might do active scanning, gather host information, gather victim, but most importantly, they try to gather the employees, the team that works there, their emails. And now LinkedIn can give you a complete map of a company. They can give you the different people working in the same company, the different positions that are there. You can go on LinkedIn, go to any company, and you will see all the employees all the people who said they are working in that company. And you can see their job. So you can start targeting these people with emails, with LinkedIn messages, with whatever. Also, there are websites that can able to create the email or generate the employee email. So you can know what's exactly his email. One of the ways is by, let's say, getting the first name and then the last name and then the company, or at the company.com, or the first letter and then the last name and then at the company. Some companies, or many companies, you can see some emails have been leaked somewhere, and some people has the access to these emails, so you can see how the format looks like. And from the name on LinkedIn, they can generate the email of that person, and you can send him an email, a personalized spear phishing email, to get him to download a malicious file. Target human or social engineering, the weakest point, infect their work organization. So Muhammad Al-Amin is saying, targeting human, the social engineering part, is the weakest point. Infect their workstation and get directly to the corporate network. That's exactly it. This is their start. Once they get into their foot, most of them, they try to stay completely undetected, and as well moving from one machine to another. For the people who didn't work in organizations or didn't work in a company yet, there's something called domain accounts. Domain accounts, you basically have a username and password that you don't log in on your work machine. You actually log in into another machine. Your username and your password are getting verified on something called domain controller. It's another computer that when you log in any machine in the company, you go and to the domain controller, it checks your username and password, and if it's correct, it guarantees you access to that machine in this company. So you don't have to have a local account on any machine. You have a domain account which works on different machines around the company. Based on your account, you can, based on the permissions on your account, you can have access to multiple machines inside the organization. And here's a very important thing. With domain accounts, if I steal your domain account, let's say, I'm not only having access to your laptop in the company, I also can have access to your colleagues' laptops through going from one machine, just use your login information and log into the other laptop. And then wherever on your machine, on your laptop, or in somebody else's laptop, your colleague laptop, I can try to escalate privilege. Escalating privilege is, sorry, where's the privilege? Where I am? Somebody asking, there will be a recording? Yes, it will remain on YouTube and as well on my Facebook and LinkedIn. By the way, guys, if you are following me anywhere, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting lots of videos out there, and there's lots of big announcements coming, and it is coming on YouTube. I believe it will be mostly on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to reach 5,000 by hopefully June of subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, and there will be lots of great information I'll be publishing there, and there's already lots of videos there. So once they get into their machine, once they run their malicious document macro code, once they get their foot into the company, into one laptop in the company, they want to get to split privilege, to be the admin of that workstation, to be the admin of that laptop, which gets us to the privilege escalation part. And there's so many ways. The first problem is that most of people, if you're working in a company, you will see that you are actually you have an administrative account on this like a standard account, not a restricted account on your workstation or on your own laptop. You have a standard account or administrative account, how Windows like to call it, and you can run anything as an administrator by just allowing, you have this message, do you want to allow this to run, or do I want to allow this to set up? And just click allow. This is called user access control. Maybe I can search user access control. So if you're working if you have a normal Windows machine, you can do anything as an administrator. You can have the full control over the machine, and you will get this message from time to time when you try to install something or doing something that's supposed to be administrative thing. And then you click yes, and then you go forward. And this is the type of this accounts. This type of account, so it's called the standard account or the administrative account. With this account, you can basically do anything. If the attacker was able to get into your machine, he has the same power as you. So he can do anything. He will only have the problem to bypass this window without getting it popped up in your face and make you click on yes. And to bypass the user access control, it is also very simple. User access control is only allowed for most of applications except some applications. In Windows, there are multiple applications that can do something that's completely administrative without showing this window to the user. They are in System 32, they are signed, whatever they are. And basically, an attacker can force these applications to run his own malware or to execute his own malware. So this application takes like a command or something like that. I'm trying to simplify it. And he just run this program and give it his malware. And it will run his malware as an administrator. Very simple, and it works so many times. Windows as well, or Microsoft, does not really see user access control as a real security measurement. So it's not really a way to bypass root like how it's in Linux. It's very, very easy to bypass. And once he bypasses it, he can have a full control over that laptop. And with the full control, he can get access to any account that's logged in or sometimes has been logged in on this machine. It could be the account of this, the domain account of that person or that employee who has this machine. It could be somebody else have logged in through remote desktop and didn't terminate the connection correctly. He can also get his username and password or the hash of his password, and with that he can go into so many other machines inside the network. The main goal after the privilege escalation is to start moving from one machine to another, and to be able to reach the domain controller and have access to all the domain, all the accounts, all the passwords inside the company. And once he get into the first machine, he send the spear phishing. Let's revise. He send the spear phishing. He gets that employee, whatever this employee is, to click on the link to download, to execute the macro. He made the attacker, or made the victim or the employee, to execute his malware. Now the malware running on his machine. Then he escalated the privileges. He bypassed the user access control, which is very, very simple, by just using some Windows applications that doesn't make this user access control pop-up appears. And with that, he gets the full control over that machine, complete control. He can do anything. Once he has that control, now he can get all the passwords that's saved in the memory. That employee domain account, which can be used to log in into other machines in the company. He can use as well any other person who has logged in into his workstation, maybe an IT support, maybe somebody from security, whatever, and he can get all of these passwords. And he can start move from one machine to another, to a third, to a fourth, just by using the same domain account, because this domain account can log in into so many other workstations or so many other laptops. The employee can log in into his colleague laptop and to other colleagues' laptop with his account, with his domain account. And that's what the attacker will do. He will log in into the other people's account with remote desktop, or execute a command like run as, or even schedule a task with a task scheduler, and he can put his malware everywhere. He put the malware in the share, he use it with run as or whatever, and he move from one machine to another. He infect multiple machines in the network. Now he can start to look for the IT support guys, the people who has access to the domain controller, and he move from one machine to another in what's called lateral movements. And with that, he can move until he reaches the domain controller. Once he has the domain controller, he has the gate, he has the key to the treasures of the company. Does that make sense so far? Any question on that, guys? I'm looking for. So that is my question. That is my topic today. Do you have any question about what I have just said about how the attacker moved? Because why I'm saying that is because there is lots of people who only think about hacking is port scanning, or hacking is finding all of these domains and OS fingerprinting and Metasploit and so many other things. All of these tools, exploit DB, which can be useful, but they are used minimum. In so many attacks, there's not even one vulnerability has been used. Many attacks, it doesn't use even one vulnerability. Just using social engineering, malware, or malware that could be in partial commands, could be whatever. And with that, and as well with some misconfiguration, he can go from one machine to another and go here and there and reach the domain controller in the company without using one exploit, without using one vulnerability, without doing even port scanning. So let me go into answering people questions. So Muhammad El Amin, he's asking a question on LinkedIn. Question, please. How can you check if your computer is being monitored and try to harden it? I mean, in case you have something like a rootkit which cannot be easily detected, regular commands like netstat or antivirus. So there's multiple levels to detect if you are being monitored. About rootkits specifically, I want to say that rootkits currently are very hard to be wrote. They need to use and exploit in the operating system. Windows has, or Microsoft has improved the security of Windows through the time, and in Windows 10, it got harder and harder, and with the later versions of Windows 10, it become really difficult to use a rootkit, a kernel mode rootkit. So it is not as easy as before. It's I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's still there, some rootkits, but very rare. So do not focus on having a rootkit. But if you really think you have a rootkit, then try to monitor your network from outside of your laptop. You have your laptop here. Try to have another laptop or another machine that connects to a mirroring port in your router, or tries to use it as a default gateway, and make sure that you see all the network that's coming from your laptop to the internet. And with that, you can see what is happening, what's any internet connection is happening outside of your laptop, outside of the influence of any kernel mode, user mode, whatever the type of rootkits or malware is being running on your laptop. Outside of your laptop is the best way to see what's happening on the network level. Most of the detection happen first on the network, whatever logs or network, like buckets, internet buckets. So the first thing will be Netstat, Wireshark, Microsoft Network Monitor, any of these tools on your laptop, or on another laptop. If you use your laptop as a default gateway, for example, another laptop, another machine, you make it a default gateway and you make the whole connection go through there. So this way you can detect if there is any communications happening that is malicious. This is the first part. The second is diving deeper into the process and services that are running. If we talk about process, there's a program called the Process Hacker. Process Hacker is a tool that has so many features to see all the processes being running, what is their parent process, what is all the loaded libraries inside of it. You can see if there is any library that looks like an unknown library, not a Windows library, not in System 32, doesn't look like a known library. As well, you can see if there's anything that is any library that looks unknown, it's something to flag. As well, you can see if there's any memory has been allocated that looks that is like private memory has been allocated in any process and is executable. And that's something you can check. You can see if this has any malicious code or any assembly code, any readable code. And with that, you can see if there's anything malicious. Another thing is that you can take a memory dump of your machine at some point, take a complete memory dump, and take that memory dump into another machine and try to analyze it with the volatility or with what's called recall. It's a tool, it's a like volatility. It's a memory forensics tool. And the recall and volatility, they have the ability to analyze the memory and see if there's anything malicious. There's a way to see all the libraries being loaded. You can also use malfind to find any malicious allocated or any memory allocated any places in memory is being allocated inside process that looks like they have anything malicious as well. This is basically most of the important things. What else I wanted to say? I kind of missed the point. So this is for most of the detection. You can also see the commands are being executed in your machine, the surfaces, and so on. Also recall, it's a memory forensics tool, and it can be used live on a machine. So you can use recall, install it, download it, and install it in your machine, and use recall to read your own memory. And it is also working from the kernel mode. So it can read the full memory of your laptop, and it can go through and see if there's anything malicious, including kernel mode, rootkit detection tools that they have inside recall that look at any wrong structures or things that's incorrect. As well, it can look at the process, it can look at the different files that are being created, mutex, whatever anything that's there. As well, there's a tool from sysinternals. I don't remember exactly the name of this tool. I think list DLLs or something like that. That is able to list all the DLLs being loaded currently, and as well listed the DLLs that are not signed or their signature is not valid. So if there is a malware in your machine that is not signed, not all the malwares are not signed. There are some that are signed with there's been a certificate being stolen and has been used in the malware. But with this, at least it can detect if there is any libraries that being loaded and that might look malicious, and you can use that to detect malicious malware. To harden your machine, the first thing, there is in Windows 10 something for ransomware protection. It restricts access to specific folders and forces you to either allow the access to this folder, like it will give you something like it will give you something like this window, the user access control window, and it will tell you this application, specific application, is trying to access this restricted folder. Do you want to allow it or not? I do that on all of my documents. So I can restrict access to my documents to only specific applications, none else, no other applications. So if there's a malware that's trying to encrypt my documents, it will pop up here. Of course, if you didn't inject into one of the allowed processes, that whitelisted process, I don't whitelist in many cases, so I make them give me the pop-up. I don't mind. And if not, he will not be able to actually encrypt the files on that. Use cloud to protect against ransomware because they have what's called versioning, so they can go back into an older version before the encryption. This is for the ransomware. For the different for normal malware, I would say normal antivirus is good. Even Windows Defender is good. Make sure that you're not really accessing something, like you're not trying to download cracked stuff or go into pirated websites and use download cracks or crack me's, or not crack me's, but like cracked applications, keygen, or any of this stuff, any pirated products, because they mostly have a malware. The second thing is that if you are feeling this, anything you receive looks suspicious, then try to have a VM to open your stuff, open things that maybe it has, that probably it could be a malware. There might be other better security ways to do if you are more geek, let's say, like use an EDR on your machine and have all of your logs being saved in your own Splunk. So there is an open EDR or a free EDR, endpoint detection response, created by Komodo. It's called openedr.com, and you can go and access that one, download it, install it, and make it forward all the logs to your own installed Kibana. You install Kibana and you install that, and make it or use Kibana on the cloud. Maybe if you have, I don't know if Elastic do this for free, or there's a free limit or whatever. Even if you pay monthly, that's fine. Just a little bit of money, for example. And as well, you can see all these logs as being being delivered to your own cloud Kibana, for example, and you're able to see if there's anything suspicious happening on your machine every end of the week, for example, or the end of every day. You can check if there's anything that has been suspicious on your machine today. Any PowerShell commands look strange, any files look strange, any commands that looks weird, whatever you want to check. This is another way. There is also another ways of running your browser in a like kind of an isolation, like in a Docker or something like that, to make sure that everything that is there is only closed on this Docker. Even the programs that you are running, or different unknown programs, you just run them in a Docker. So this is our different ways you can think about implementing a very secure kind of environment. I hope that answered your question. So how can I get the experience to work with the companies where companies ask for experience? So how I can get experience to work? This is always the hardest question. Let me close the share. This is mostly the hardest question. How I can get a job? How I can get my first job in a company if all the companies require experience? How I can get the experience before? How I can get the experience if it's always required? This type of dilemma, egg or the egg or the chicken first. I get the experience first before working, or start working first before I get the experience. And how I should deal with that, how I should apply for companies that require experience. The first thing is that who writes most of the job descriptions are being written by the HR. The HR talk with the, let's say, with the manager that wants this position to be open, and he understands what's exactly required, what's the level, what's the practical level that is required. Let's say he wants a person who knows how to deal, like not an intern, not a completely new person. He is a person who knows how to analyze different malware and able to do his day-to-day work. Is YouTube is okay, guys? Are you hearing me on YouTube? Somehow YouTube says that everything is okay. Okay, everything is fine. And he the HR look at what he requires, and then he write the year of experience. For the managers and for the people who wants the job, who wants to hire, the hiring manager, for him he wants a specific practical level, not specific years of experience. So if they say I want 1 year of experience, it means that I want someone who is able to analyze simple malware without any problem. He's not a person who's completely new to malware analysis. He knows how to analyze normal malware. He knows he can be easily plugged into a team and will learn very fast. He can do the easy tasks. And the harder tasks, he will need the senior assistant. If he requires 3 years to 5 years of experience, he's expecting somebody who is almost a senior, who can be plugged in the team and actually add and help juniors. Like, he's not a person who needs help so much. So how to deal with the experience when you see it in a job description? The best way to deal with this is to prove you have the practical experience. Let's say this job requires 1 year of experience. You don't have any experience. Rather than you send a resume that's completely empty, you say that, oh, I have been doing this. You show them you have the practical experience. Oh, look, I have analyzed this malware and have wrote the malware analysis report, and I have did this stuff. I have also did that project, and I did that project, and this is my blog. I have been analyzing malware for over 6 months or for over 1 year, doing and studying and analyzing. So now you show in your resume that you have the practical experience, not the actual years of experience inside a company. So the best solution is practical experience. Create or find something that proves your skills, that proves that you have the practical experience, the practical skills. How to do that? Maybe a malware analysis report if you're studying malware analysis. Maybe something like doing multiple machines in Azure and try to or AWS, and try to practice the lateral movements and practice the reteaming attack. Try to analyze lots of different machines, or to reverse different machines. Not reverse, sorry, to hack different vulnerable machines. Or if you are studying incident response, there are lots of challenges. There's something called, I think, incident response challenge, incident-response-challenge.com. I will share it on YouTube chat. And this website has multiple challenges for people who are learning incident response and mainly digital forensics. And it gives them different challenges to learn. So you can do these challenges. You can also do, there is also, I want to say, there is something in GitHub called EVTX dash attack dash samples, and this is a very interesting GitHub. I will also share it on the chat on YouTube. The EVTX attack samples are basically someone who collected lots of event logs from different machines, and this event logs represents different stages of the attack, from initial access to like spear phishing attack to privilege escalation to lateral movement to maintaining persistence to fileless attacks and how they look like. And fileless attacks are mostly using for people asking how fileless attacks look like, they mostly look like this. It's the attacker does not drop a malware, does not drop an exe file or even any file. What he does is that he starts to execute different applications like PowerShell, like I think Matcha it's called, or Mashta, Mashta.exe, VB script, whatever the application is, and give it a malicious script as a command. So everything is basically he's using legitimate applications and giving them a malware script code in the command line. So he can write, let's say, PowerShell.exe-c, and then after that, between quotation, he can say download this malware and execute that malware. And what he's downloading is basically downloading more PowerShell script and it's being executed in the memory. So this is the first thing. He uses scripting a lot. The virus attacks mostly use scripting, and from scripting they go into also code injection. So after multiple stages of scripts, they go into collecting lots of code and inject it into download an assembly code from the attacker and inject that code inside the memory of another application, maybe another PowerShell program or any other program, and inject that code into the memory and execute it from there. Now an assembly program is running inside another process, inside another application. This assembly code is basically the malware, but it's being directly injected into the memory and has no presence on the disk. For him to maintain persistence, he focused on using registry and using PowerShell again, rather than or schedule tasks or whatever. Maybe he create a schedule task every day, and this task basically execute a PowerShell.exe-c PowerShell command line, PowerShell command inside PowerShell.exe, PowerShell.exe-c, and then again download the payload. And once you download the payload, you do all the different stages, you download another payload and the third and fourth, and then inject code inside another process and move forward. And that's what happens every single day. And to execute himself into another to do the lateral movement, to move to another laptop inside the organization, he used a schedule task or run as, and then he execute a PowerShell command. And this PowerShell download another PowerShell, and this PowerShell downloads the DLL, inject it in the memory without saving it on the disk, and he moved into that loop. And this is very, very common. I've seen lots of attacks look like that. What's the reason we're talking about it? So anyway, again, getting back to how to get experience to work in companies, you need to go into this. You need to analyze different attacks. You can analyze fileless attacks. You can analyze normal attacks, and have this in your resume. You feature it. This is the first thing you put in your resume. My projects, the things that I have worked on, and that can prove you have the practical experience, and that's enough to get you to the interview and move forward. So how to get experience? Do like a malware analysis report or something, analyze this report, and create your own malware analysis report, and use that as a way to represent practical experience, to present 1 year of experience for the company or for the hiring manager. Muhammad Al-Amin, thank you so much for the elaboration. By the way, it will be hard to monitor outside if they use SSL. True, it will be harder to monitor outside if they're using SSL, but at least you can see there's an unknown IP or you can see that they are communicating through SSL to 8.8, like, or if they're using a domain over SSL or something. So if you have an unknown IP that's being used through HTTPS, for example, that's something is suspicious. And from that, you can investigate further which application is communicating to that IP. So at least you will know that there is a malicious IP that's being connected to the internet. That your machine is connecting to. I will rewatch the recording to take notes of the tools you have mentioned. Thank you very much. As I mentioned, Process Hacker, ListDLL for detection. There's also others, and as well for monitoring your machine, you can use openedr.com. I believe openedr.com, and as well you can use Docker for safety for your browser, and Windows 10 has its own ransomware prevention or ransomware protection, you can say, and you can use that as well. Anybody can be using that. محمد فتحي عزاز، السلام عليكم، منور الدنيا مهندس عمرو، انا داخل اسلم عليك بس، ربنا يخليك and welcome. Okay, so let me go back to the YouTube questions for people who was asking lots of questions. I have seen so many questions here. I will answer these questions and get back to what the main topic was about. So Kali versus Parrot OS versus Black Arc, which do you recommend? To be honest, I haven't tried other than Kali. So to tell you from the beginning, it's not the idea of which operating system, because any one of them you can install the missing tools if there's some missing tools. For penetration testing, just see which one you like the most, which one you are comfortable to use. Kali, let's say, is Ubuntu, this is Debian, this is this. Try to see which one that works best for you and continue using it and download the missing tools, and you make it your own. That's what I would recommend you to. If you want to use a Windows one, then use the Windows one. I think, how it's called, Commando VM, I think, or something like that. That is penetration testing a Windows VM. Some people like the Windows. I do like Windows, so you can use this one if you do like Windows. So the most important is what you feel comfortable with, and the tools that are missing, you can easily download them. Don't focus on the tool or on what's the distribution that you should be using. Could you share the agenda for this event or the session? So today I was covering how hackers get into the world's most secure networks, how the actual hacking looks like, how the actual attacks look like in real life. And it is mostly not like by scanning ports and scanning for different and doing OS fingerprinting and web attacks. They do exist, but very, very little. Most of the attacks, most of the successful attacks, I would say, are mostly targeting the employees inside the company and installing malware, or even using scripts like PowerShell scripts and so on, and get into one laptop inside the organization, their foot into the corporate networks, and from there they move from one machine to another until they take over the domain controller, and from there they have the key to the treasure. This is mostly how the attacks look like. They go through multiple phases from phishing to privilege escalation, which get them from being from being a normal standard account to a complete system account or administrator account. They can read in the memory of any process, they can do anything, and from that they can get the domain, they can steal the credentials of the logged in users, and with that they can move from one machine to another using these domain accounts, using this stolen domain credentials, because domain credentials can make you able to log in into multiple laptops inside one company, not only your laptop. And they use that to move from one machine to another until they reach the domain controller. They escalate privilege they bypass the user access control, and that's basically it. So that's basically the agenda for today, and as well answering the questions and talking about the announcement. How was the new malware discovered on Apple Mac? I don't have much of information to give you, to be honest. What's your take on cyber deception tech? What is cyber deception tech, you mean? Question. What are the requirements in terms of a career path as a security researcher? Down to top approach. What are the requirements? The requirements first is to understand how hackers able to hack a company. What exactly the steps, the tactics, techniques, and procedures they use to attack a company? Um, if I share my screen for a second, you can see this is all the different techniques. This is the attack navigator. And this is all the different techniques the attacker can use to get into a company. You don't have to learn all of them, but you have to understand how actually the hacker gets into a company. What are the different techniques? What are the types of attacks, the types of malware, the types of scripting languages, what is malicious and what's not. So let's say how he get his initial access, drive-by compromise, which is an exploit, or phishing, which can be through an attachment, can be through a malicious link, or could be through LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And there's many other ways. Supply chain, that's what happened with the last attack on all the different companies. What's it called? Anyway, the supply chain, they basically hack a company that actually provides services or products or software to another big company, and they hack this company. They install a malware in their product, and then this product get delivered to the bigger companies that actually use that software, and you all get infected. That's basically the hardware, the supply chain that could be in a software. The software itself, the software dependencies, or the hardware. If they sell a hardware, let's say a keyboard, they can make it, they can change something in it and actually make it a malicious hardware that send key logs or say keystrokes to write a malware or execute a partial command or something. This is for the initial access. For the, let's say, the resistance, how they maintain resistance, how they escalate privilege, how they move from one machine to another. You need to understand how hackers actually do the attack. If you don't know anything from what I'm talking about, then you need to have a little bit of background in administration, not very in depth, mostly Windows, then Linux, or start at least with Windows, and understand what is user account, what's process, what is thread, what is registry, what is serves, and understand all of these things. What is how the internet looks like, how the internet communication, what's the default gateway, the net mask, all of this stuff, and understand network protocols in depth. The TCP, UDP, HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, all of these protocols, and how they look like byte by byte. You understand them fully, how they look like. Because most of the time you will be using Wireshark in your, if you're working in any company, most of the security things, you will have either dealing with logs or dealing with packets, internet packets. And to understand internet packets, you need to understand how these network protocols look like. So this is the two prerequisites. If you don't have them, then start studying them. This is not information security, they are the prerequisites. Once you have them, you need to understand how the attacks look like, how the attackers actually get into different companies, how they do their hack, and then how we can defend against them. What are the steps to defend against these attacks? That could be through, let's say, understanding logs, analyzing logs, analyzing event logs, or let's say DNS logs or FTP logs, or firewall logs, or whatever the type of logs are, or endpoint detection response logs from Carbon Black, from OpenEDR, from whatever. That means that you will have to understand the Kibana or Splunk or any similar SIEM tool and how to use it. Then you will start to move into understanding how to do deeper investigation, So you understand logs, you understand how to detect these attacks through logs. That's why I was sharing the EVTX. I don't know if you see my screen here. You don't see my screen. 1 second. If I share my screen, there is a project on GitHub called EVTX attack samples, which basically it's event logs that is created or used to basically like this are event logs from machines that has been attacked with one of the attacks that are there. All the different attacks that you see here, he basically simulated that attack on a machine, and he took the event logs from the machine and he saved it here. So you can see, let's say, credential access. Let's say this is an event log that being taken from a machine that the attacker has hacked this machine and he run mimikatz to steal the credentials of the person who is logged in this machine. And these event logs are saved from a tool called Sysmon. So if you are able to analyze these event logs, understand how you can detect these attacks or all of these different attacks that you have learned about from these logs, then you took one step further. You understood how to analyze logs and how you can detect attacks through logs. You understand how attacks look like. Now you understood how to detect them through logs. The next step is to how to do network forensics. This is the second step in your detection and your learning process. You have passed, you have understood how to analyze logs. Now you understand how to analyze network packets. Then after that, you understand how to do, how to analyze a machine artifacts. You understand how to analyze network packets. You do Wireshark or network monitor. You see malicious activities has been happening. Somebody or let's say a malicious domain has been accessed. He's downloading an MZ file, or he's downloading a partial command, or something suspicious happening. You're detecting that. You understand how to deal with packets. Then the next step is to go deeper. Understand digital forensics, how you can detect malicious artifacts inside your own, inside the machine. Different files like written malicious files or applications have been executed that left some artifacts on the hard disk, and you can detect that. You can use that to detect more the malware or the malicious activities have been happening. The same for memory forensics, then malware analysis. And some people say that malware analysis is only the last part. Yes, in the analysis process, but if you understand malware, you understand all of this process. When I learned malware analysis, I started to understand digital forensics, memory forensics, log analysis. Everything has been very easy to understand because everything is trying to detect malicious activities. Once you understand how malware and malicious activities look like, you can know how to detect them in any of these processes. That's basically the approach that you should follow. Learn the prerequisites. Sorry. Learn how the attackers, how the hacking tools look like, how attackers get into the most secure networks, and then learn the incident response process step by step. That's also what we do in our training, by the way, the malware incident response. So we teach malware analysis and incident response and memory forensics, and we're also planning to teach a little bit of digital forensics, just a little bit. And we cover how real attacks look like, and we actually cover real attacks through the whole training. If you're interested, join the training. It's in maltrack.com/join. I will share the link up here in YouTube. https://maltrack.com/join, and you can join the training. And it is incident response and malware analysis, and we are even adding more and more stuff in the malware analysis part. And it has my direct support as well, with one-on-one sessions or with group sessions, and also the Slack channel where I can actually respond to work with you and help you build your career in cybersecurity. So another question, which language do you support, do you suggest for hackers? C++ or Python? Python. Any books for beginners? For what field? I would say 3 books you should really read. Advanced Penetration Testing. The first one, Advanced Penetration Testing. How hackers get into the world's most secure networks. This is the first book. Let me share the screen and share the 3 books from there. So here, one second. I really like how I can share the screen here. So the first book is Advanced Penetration Testing, how hackers get into the world's most secure networks. So that's one book. That's if you are into red teaming, and as well it's good to read a bit inside of it if you want to get into cybersecurity, see how attacks look like in real. So this is basically, there is a big shift happening in the market. Companies are not looking for penetration testers. They are looking for red team ops. And red team ops, they are people who simulate real attacks. They are not really using their own techniques and try to hack by themselves. They simulate real attacks happening in the world. And this book is showing you how to simulate real attacks by teaching you how real attacks look like. And this is what I'm teaching in my training, and what I'm teaching in my webinar, and what I'm teaching every time. You need to understand how hackers get into the world's most secure networks, how they do their actual attack. This is what is really, really important. You need to understand how the real attacks look like first, and then go into the security part. So this is the first book. Second book is Applied Incident Response. And Applied Incident Response is a new book, has been released in March 2000. Where's the cover of the book? Has been published in. This is the book basically, or this picture is nice. Published in March 2020, so it's very new and it's really a great book. And the third and the most important, of course, Mastering Malware Analysis book. It's I can't tell you enough. It's really a great book in malware analysis. You should be reading that book. It's a book that covers malware analysis, not only in Windows, but in so many different operating systems. And as well, it can be your guide. So if you're analyzing a PowerShell command, or you are working in a response, and you want to detect a specific attack, how to detect it? You open the Mastering Malware Analysis book and see, okay, here's how I can deal with PowerShell. Here's how I can deal with .NET. I have a malware that's packed. What I should do? Oh, go here. I have a sample. I don't know what I should do with it. Oh, open the book chapter 2. It will tell me what I should do, and so on. So it's like your malware analysis Bible, basically. This is the Bible to deal with multiple attacks in your network. If you're working in a company, and if you are learning about incident response, malware analysis, and digital forensics, and so on, so you need to follow with that. So that's for the books. So Advanced Penetration Testing make you understand a little bit about how hacking looks like in real life, actually, not the fake ones, the real ones. This is the first one, the Applied Incident Response and Mastering Malware Analysis. So this is the best resources that I do recommend. And even a better resource, and this is a paid advertisement, by the way, maltrack.com/join. And this is our training that we actually provide. And this training is really, really in-depth training. This training, we go from complete beginners. You only have the prerequisites, which is a little bit of incident response and as well networks. We also cover network analysis or network forensics. We cover network protocols and how they look like, but it's better that you have this part. And we cover, if we go down here, this is all what we cover. So we cover how the real attacks look like. We cover the incident response process. We cover memory forensics. We cover network forensics. And then we cover the malware analysis step by step, from basic analysis to in-depth analysis. And later we also provide threat intelligence, machine learning, just a brief intro to machine learning, and all our JAWA rules and so on. The good thing about it is that malware analysis as a field, and this covers malware analysis response in that training, but malware analysis is the foundation for most of things in cybersecurity. People don't understand that. They look at malware analysis, there's very little jobs for malware analysis. Well, malware analysis is the foundation. With malware analysis, you can easily go into working in incident response. And there's so many jobs in incident response. I want to close here the, oops. There's so many jobs in incident response. There's also, what else? As incident response, there's so many jobs in threat hunting and threat intelligence. Threat intelligence, basically, all the threat intelligence is based on malware. Is all the information they have about this malware or this attack, which is their malware techniques. So what basically the sample hashes, the mutexes, the registry changes, the file changes, all of these things. So that's what they are basically going after with the threat intelligence. So if you want to work in any of the blue team area, this is a really great start. This is where it will get you to all of these fields, not only into malware analysis. So that's basically it. Also, you can go into access.maltrack.com. Don't worry about coming soon or not. You can basically create an account. And when you create an account, you can go to this training and you can see all the modules, what's exactly in them. Even without creating an account, you can just go here and watch exactly what's the content. So here, like how to install the virtual machine we provide in VirtualBox and VMware, and it's include all the tools for incident response and malware analysis you ever need, and as well all the different things we cover through the whole training. And this training is being modified through the time, being updated every now and then, and we have a new update that's coming soon. And after that update, price might go up. I'm not 100% sure, but for now, just make sure that you get your chance to get into that training. You get my support. You get my direct support through Slack, through QA sessions. It's a small group Zoom sessions where you can share the screen and ask questions, anything. You can share your resume with me, your CV, and I will modify it with you step by step. Also, your malware analysis report, anything you are stuck in, and as well, you have a one-on-one session with me. So that's about that. That's also one of the resources I wanted to share. So getting into the next question, I will go to the live one here. Bluebird, he's saying that you forgot my question. Let me get your question. Okay. The question is, what is the difference between these job titles? Cybersecurity analyst, threat intelligence, incident response, cybersecurity engineer. And does it must work in SOC tier 1, tier 2?
Akbar Sheikh's meeting starts in 10 minutes.
That's my Alexa. And does it must work in SOC tier 1, tier 2 to work as a malware analyst? So that's very, very good questions. The first thing, what's the difference between cybersecurity analyst, incident response, threat intelligence, cybersecurity engineer? So it depends on the company. First, it depends on the company how they rename their jobs. There's some jobs that are being named as cybersecurity analyst, and this is a person who is working basically with logs, with incident response. Some jobs are called incident response, especially in the company where they have multiple teams that they report to each other. So they have, let's say, the default look is like this. First, you have SOC tier 1, you have SOC tier 2, you have SOC tier 3. SOC tier 1 is the people who are doing the the cybersecurity monitoring. This is sometimes called cybersecurity analyst or called SOC analyst. And this job is basically looking at different logs and monitoring if there's anything suspicious. And once they see something suspicious, they flag it and they report it. They report it to the next team, the incident response team. The incident response team take all these reports, they look at this evidence, they maybe investigate a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit, or correlate the information more. What they do mostly is that they correlate the information. They take here something suspicious from the something suspicious from these logs, something suspicious from the DNS, something suspicious here and there, and use all of these reports together to basically understand what is happening, and from that they block the attack if they want to. So the incident response mostly they contain and block the attack and try to format this machine, isolate this machine, remove the malware if they can. So this is the role. Then you have the third phase, which is the SOC tier 3, which is sometimes called incident response as well. And this is basically the investigation phase, which people who do in-depth investigation, mostly in forensics, do investigation logs, investigation in forensics, investigation in malware analysis, if they found the malware, and you try to understand not only, so they know that there's an attack, but you want to understand how this attack started, which machines they are actually infected, where they are, how they get into the company. They try to answer all of these questions. When it started, how it started, what weaknesses they used, what vulnerabilities they used, what machines or resources they have access to, what accounts have been compromised so far, and what is the best way to eradicate this attack completely from the whole organization. So that's what they are trying to do. The investigators are the people who are working, who are malware analysts, incident handlers, all of these people. So basically, this is the SOC tier 3, or threat hunting team, or threat response team, incident response team, or investigators team, or cybersecurity investigators, or whatever the name is. There's also another teams called the threat intelligence, which basically he collect lots of resources, from lots of sources. He collect information about different attacks, he filter them out, and he tries to mirror them to what he see in the logs. So let's say we have a malware has been released, Tricuput malware or Emotet, and this is the new hashes. This is the new domains that, or the new command control websites that the attacker, that the malware tries to connect to reach the attacker. And this is the registry entries he changes. This is all the changes he does to the system. And he takes that information, the threat intelligence engineer takes this information and tries to see if there's any of this information or any of these things are actually there in the network. If they are not there, if this malware is not already inside the organization, then he tries to create alerts for them, and he tries to filter out this stuff. So that's basically the threat intelligence. The second question, which is a really important question: do I need to work on SOC tier 1 and SOC tier 2 before I get into SOC tier 3? Most of the people will tell you yes, but the actual answer is no, you don't need to. The truth is that you can build your skills in incident response and malware analysis and digital forensics directly, build projects that prove that you have these skills, and directly work in these jobs, directly work as an investigator. If you have the skills, you will work in this field without prior experience in SOC. That is the truth, and that's what happened to me and so many people from my students as well. So I want to close the here. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically it. I have here a laptop behind this laptop, and it's making sound, and I'm not able, don't know how to close it, so it's a bit big mess. Anyway, so you don't need to work on SOC tier 1 or SOC tier 2. What you need to do is to actually learn the skills of SOC tier 3 directly, create projects or research papers or whatever the projects are to prove your skills, and that can be your own resume to work directly on SOC tier 3 with really good salary if you're looking for salary, or with the things you're passionate about from the beginning. We do help our students to do that. That's what we try to do, and it's what we teach, and we'll help you through the way, not only to build your skills in cybersecurity, but also to build your own project, to build the thing that proves your skills, as well. We answer all your questions in a Zoom calls, maybe 10, 15 people, around 10, 15 people every single day, or every 2 weeks. And we have like 3 hours together answering all of your questions. You share the screen, you share your report, your resume, and I help you through the whole process. So, any best resource for digital forensics, and can you elaborate on the project part, like with an example? So about digital forensics, I would say Applied Incident Response is a good book to start with, because Applied Incident Response book actually have a part for digital forensics. We're also planning to cover more about that in our training. We have the memory forensics part inside. For memory forensics, it's also an Applied Incident Response and Learning Malware Analysis book. It's also in depth there. Projects, examples of projects. What I did was my analysis for Stuxnet malware, and that project got me around 5 different job offers, basically, or job opportunities. I got a manager from a company called Brevex to reach out to me to work in their team. I got also another Italian company. I got from EGCert, which I worked there later, from QCert, which I worked there later as well, and Komodo, which I worked for some time there. So 5 different job offers in around 6 months just because of that. And later I worked in Symantec, which is in a team called the Attack Investigation Team, which was created after the Stuxnet attack and was created from the people who analyzed this attack and was dealing with that malware. So because I have been dealing with that malware, I have joined the team, and I stayed in that company for 3 years. This is one example. Maybe any malware analysis, you can analyze Emotet. I have students who analyzed Emotet and they found a job through this way, or other malware. So try to analyze one of these samples. This is one example. Also, you can write a tool. For example, if you are learning incident response, you're learning PowerShell, you can improve something with PowerShell. There's tools like Kansa, for example. You can improve it. You can add some stuff inside of it, and you can do a small project in PowerShell and Python even, and to do something inside incident response. You can do other. You can do your own blog and write your own posts. And if you're making your own blog, be active on that blog. Keep posting different stuff every week, or every second week you're posting something, showing that you are learning through the process. If that will not get you a job, will get you an internship. For sure. Just you have a blog, even if you don't have the skills yet, just you have a blog and you keep writing on it and keep reading books and keep improving, you will get an internship for sure, even if you don't have the skills yet, because they see that you are learning and you're working hard to learn, and that's what they need. The attitude only. That's what they want for an internship. For a job, they will need a bit more, but you will look at your reports and your things that you have wrote, and you will see if you have the skills. SOC Tier 3 will want experience at level 1 or 2 before they will allow you to touch a malware within a SOC. That's true if you don't have anything other than experience. But from my experience and from so many students, that's actually not true. The thing here is that it's how you craft your resume and how you craft your experience, how you market yourself. So if you have been in your resume, you have lots of practical skills, working on different samples, working on different malwares from Emotet to TrickyBot to this to that. Why they will say, oh, no, you have to work on SOC Tier 1. If you have been analyzing different samples and you try to apply for a job for SOC Tier 1, they will tell you are overqualified. When you apply for SOC Tier 3, this is where they will hire you, because you have the practical skills. You prove that you have the skills. Experience, all what they want from experience is the practical experience, is that you have the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, and you know how to implement them. If you have another proof than having years of experience in a company, any other proof like projects, like samples you have analyzed, like whatever the thing is, articles you have wrote, whatever the thing you have, whatever the projects you have done, if you have that, that can replace the need for experience in SOC Tier 1 or Sector 2. If that's not the case, if he said no, I want the SOC 1 and 2 experience first, then this is a team you should not work in, because they don't understand the job. If they look at your resume and they can see your projects and what you have done, and they see that you have the practical skills, and they do not get you to an interview at least, then this is not a good team to even work with. Another thing is that lots of people, they get blocked with the HR part. They apply for a job, the HR say, oh, they don't have the experience, reject them automatically. The other way around is that don't apply to the job, go directly to the hiring manager, reach out to the managers in this company, searching for the appropriate person. Let's say, I'll give you, let's say, an example. One second. An example, you saw, let's say you're applying for an incident response job. You see an incident response job that's open in a company called Company X. And you see the incident response manager, you searched for incident response manager at Company X. On LinkedIn, you can go on LinkedIn here, and you can search for incident response manager, and you can choose the company, whatever the company is. Let's say there's a job for, let's say, for TikTok, then you can search incident response manager people in the incident response manager, and the current company, let's say TikTok or IBM, or let's say Microsoft, is easy to show. And then you have some people here that are actually working as an incident response manager. You found a job in Microsoft as an incident response handler or incident handler, or anything in that team. Then you message, let's say, one of these guys. You ask them, let's say you message them on LinkedIn, and you say, I'm writing to you and hope to, like, hello Stephen, for example, I'm writing to you and hope to finding the appropriate person who hiring for this job. Let's say, if that makes sense to you, let's talk and let me know how you kind of look like. My name is this, and I'm actually studying incident response for 2 years. I have wrote multiple projects in this and that, and I actually have an experience with what you want to do. You read the job description, you know exactly what they want. What's exactly they want, and I have experience exactly in this point. I have been dealing with attacks that targets companies like your company. I have been reading about the recent attacks. I have analyzed this attack that has happened on Microsoft. There was a attack, SolarWinds. I have been analyzing SolarWinds attack. I have seen how this attack has been involved, and I might be able to help you to help you in your team to tackle the current incidents that you might be facing. If that seems something you are interested in, let me know, and let's see if how your kind of looks like. If not, who is the person I should reach out to? And that's it, basically. So you reach out to one of the managers, you ask if he's the appropriate person that are actually hiring for this position, and basically doing like a pitch, basically. Show what's exactly they need in this job, tell them how you can help them in this job, what exactly the skills that you have that can help them in what they need, to make it very relevant to the thing that they are looking for, and that's all of it, basically. So you don't need to have SOC experience. You just need to have the practical skills and have the proof of these practical skills. And that's what we actually do in our training. So we don't get the students to work in SOC Tier 1 or SOC Tier 2. We get them to work in incident response directly by giving them this training, by giving them to give them all the skills needed to be working in incident response, from incident response and malware analysis and memory forensics and so on, and as well help them build this practical experience, help them build the proof of their skills to feature in their resume, to feature in their profile, in their LinkedIn profile, so they are able to reach out to different jobs, to different hiring managers, and get the job that they dream of. And yes, it is recorded. This session, this live will be on YouTube, so you can reach out to it every time you want. Any other questions? I know that, guys, you have been almost sleeping now, so I think that will be the last question for now. Before I finish, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I am building this channel and I will be posting lots of information and lots of videos. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you share this live or share my videos there. And yeah, I hope you support that. And there is a really big gift I'm giving to all of you guys who are hearing me on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. There's a really big gift I'll be giving to you guys, really massive. You will all love it, and that will be soon. I will announce the information. I will not say much about it now, but something really big. So make sure that you are you stay tuned. You follow me on social media so you can get this notification. You can get to know this once it is there. It will be really, really impressive. So make sure that you wait for it. Can you share the link mentioned in the stream below? Which link? Which link? Can you share the link mentioned stream? The link of the video. What? The stream video will be there. My channel is this YouTube channel. Please follow it. Follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is basically Amr Thabit. I will share the link here of my LinkedIn. And as well on my Facebook, it's Amr.Thabit.376. Don't ask me why. Make sure that you follow me on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well, but mainly YouTube, and I will be sharing this news very soon. Any other question before I leave? I have lots. Can you give me some websites to get some malware samples to analyze? The best is any.run. Any.run. That's the best website to download samples. I searched about it and I found virus share, but I cannot get an account there. Virus share is difficult. Any.run is easy. Hybrid analysis is also possible, but hybrid analysis is a bit difficult to download samples. Any.run is the easiest one. So I have a question when I'm reading practical malware analysis. At first, I feel excited, but when I finish the first part and started to read the assembly code, I feel bored. What I should do? Feel bored is something, but it depends on what type of way you like to learn it. Because assembly is quite a difficult topic for some people, and it depends on how each book teaching it. So probably you didn't like the way he's teaching it. You can find another source. Try to read Learning Malware Analysis or Mastering Malware Analysis book. You can try to read the assembly part. And the most important is that the learning assembly by itself is boring in general. Anybody who's learning assembly for the first time, you find it boring. But the practice what makes it interesting. When you go into using reverse engineering or using assembly to do reverse engineering for different crack me's, for different samples, for different stuff, this is when it gets really interesting. So if it's boring, don't dive too deep into the assembly. Just understand the basic commands, the registers, this stuff, and dive deeper into a crack me, dive deeper into an analysis of something very small. One of the things that are very, very small to learn analysis with is analyzing something like a Windows function, not a malware, not an application, just a Windows function, like a strlen, str, str, and then len, or minset, or minset is a function that basically write in a big place of memory the same value, like just clean a memory part, just does like a cleaning. It's a very simple loop, very, very simple, very easy to read its code. If you don't, there is in reversing the secrets of reverse engineering, he does analyze some of these APIs, secrets of reverse engineering. He analyzed some of these APIs and he'll show you how to analyze them. So probably practical malware analysis is not the best in understanding assembly. Then go to reversing the secrets of reverse engineering and try it. And if it's boring, it's okay. It's a bit boring at the beginning, but then it will get really exciting when you do reverse engineering. Now I'm a help desk at a big company. So now I am a help desk at a big company. I have good knowledge at system administration and great at networks. What should I do to get in security? So the first thing, understand how attacks look like. The best way is to read, let's say, Applied Incident Response book. This book, or Incident Response and Digital Forensics, 3rd edition, these two books, they talk about how attacks look like and how defense look like. And with that, you can understand how basically real attacks look like, how hacking looks like. Even better, which was I was saying earlier, if I can share my screen, you can start by reading that book. You read a little bit in advanced penetration testing that shows how hackers get into the world's most secure networks. This is a really good book. And then you can read a little bit of it, understand how the attacks look like, how hacking looks like. Then read Applied Incident Response. See what are the steps that's needed to defend against these attacks, and it will teach you also all the skills. And you can dive deeper through from Applied Incident Response. You can dive deeper into each topic, and you can also learn after that Mastering Malware Analysis book and get into malware analysis as well. And the last option and the best option is to actually get me to help you, teach you cybersecurity from where you are right now, which is basically this is our ideal customer, basically the person who has the administration background and the networks background. This is the person who is ready for that training. We build the training just for these people to take you from there to until you understand completely how the attacks look like, how malware look like, how defense against them look like, and you're able to apply for any investigation rule, incident response rule, malware analysis, and threat hunting, and so on in this area. So this is basically what you need. You can check it out on maltrack.com/historian or access maltrack.com, where you can see all the course content, so you see if it's something that is that you want. That is basically it. Getting back to the screen. Can I try this stuff? I want to try. So this looks cool, actually. Anyway, so that's it for, I like this restream features. Anyway, so that's all about it for today. Make sure that if you are following me on Facebook, all the shared links on YouTube on the chat. So I shared all the links on YouTube. Make sure that you go to my YouTube channel, to the last live stream. It's there on the public. So make sure you go there. You'll see all the links there that you would need. And that's all about it. I'm sorry for not answering the remaining questions. How I can record my analysis for sharing? I didn't understand your question, Hazan. But anyway, I will answer all questions on the next live. There will be hopefully very soon. I'm planning to go live every 1 or 2 weeks max, and I'll be answering all your questions, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. That was really, really impressive. Thank you for joining. Please follow me on all social media, and please check the links that I have shared on the YouTube chat version. On the YouTube video, and see you soon. Make sure also you check my announcement that's coming soon. I'll be announcing very soon. It will be really impressive, and it will help all of you, you guys who have financially can afford the training or can't afford the training. It will help everyone. It's even better than free. It will be something really impressive. I will not say much about it now, but it will be coming soon. And if you need any question, just let me know. I'm here to help. See you all, guys, and bye-bye. Excellent session. Thank you very much. Is Maltrack suitable for developers? It is suitable for developers, even easier for developers. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. I hope this session has been helpful. I have shared different things about attacks, about penetration testing. There's a special discount. The announcement, I will not say what it is. Probably even more, probably less, probably something else. So, but for now, I'm still having the malware incident response training. This is the best thing I have ever created. Make sure that you join. It's really impressive, and all my knowledge are in this training. So make sure that you are there. See you guys. Bye. Ciao.